Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, new details emerge on day 5 of Ken Paxton's impeachment trial, including a possible affair.
In Florida, a student has been arrested for stabbing his teacher.
And the 4 former Industrial ISD baseball players involved in assault charges will face court Wednesday. That's tomorrow.
Well, we have the temperatures that came in from across the state. These are the high temperatures. Notice 99 for us, 73 in Abilene, and 70 up in Lubbock. Yeah, the cooler weather's coming in. So is the rain. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment. Stay tuned.
And the top-ranked Goliad Tigerettes are taking on a team with only 2 losses on the season. That and more in sport.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia. The court hearing regarding 4 former Industrial ISD students will take place Wednesday morning. The 4 former baseball players are indicted on charges of organized criminal assault.
Braxton Cole Warren, Zach James Kukler, Christopher Taylor McCrory, and Cullen Reed Stumful, all former varsity players in the Cobra baseball team, accused of assaulting a younger player following a baseball game April 27th. 4 earthquakes have hit Texas since Monday, including 3 in Karnes County. KSAT reports West Texas had an earthquake Tuesday. The United States Geological Survey reports the 3 quakes in Karnes County Monday ranged from 2.8 to 3.2 in magnitude. They happened between 3:07 p.m. and 6:56 p.m.
And now let's look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis, who tells us Friday night football could see some rain.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we've got a good chance of getting some much needed rainfall around the area, and that goes through Friday night. You notice the cloud deck rolling in from the north. It is actually right now 93 degrees, but feels fairly good. Our high today was only 99 degrees, so we're not in the hundreds. In fact, I think we finally can say goodbye to that incredible summer of 2023. We're looking for less than 100 degrees, and we're looking for showers the rest of the week. We'll have all that coming up in a moment.
Mac, thank you. The Victoria ISD Board is having a special Tuesday meeting open to the public. The meeting started at 5:30 at the Victoria ISD Administration Building Boardroom, 102 Prophet Drive. The Board of Trustees will take part in a workshop led by administration regarding discipline, student behavior management, and student attendance.
The state Senate heard testimony about Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's alleged affair during his impeachment trial Monday, and we may know by the end of the week if Paxton will keep his job.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who is overseeing the trial, said he expects closing arguments could start as soon as Thursday.
5 days into Attorney General Ken Paxton's impeachment trial, we may not even reach 2 full weeks as a court of impeachment. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who presides over the trial like a judge, says there are no days off from this point on.
I want to be very clear that one side or the other could have time left that the other could not respond to. Those are the rules that both sides proposed and agreed to.
Today, Mark Penley, the former Deputy Attorney General for Criminal Justice, took the stand. He's one of the former staffers who was fired after reporting Paxton to the feds.
I think we all knew this was an incredibly dangerous and unique but outrageous situation. We were the only ones that could stop it.
Paxton's team again arguing that these staffers jumped the gun on reporting Paxton to the feds and maybe even were out to get Paxton.
You wrote, KP must be indicted by spring break. You wrote that, right?
Yes.
That was what you wanted, wasn't it?
At that point, yes, because I believed he'd broken the law.
But all eyes were on new testimony.
Did he confirm that he, in fact, was having an extramarital affair?
Yes.
From Missy Minter-Carey, former chief of staff at the Office of the Attorney General, who says she confronted Paxton about an alleged affair he had.
The topic was the ethical implications of a secret affair.
That's the first in-depth mention of the affair. Ken Paxton's wife, Senator Angela Paxton, listening along as Carey described the tearful confession.
Ken Paxton is facing 16 articles of impeachment and has denied all wrongdoing.
If he is found guilty of just one of those articles of impeachment, he is out. And Paxton's accused of a number of crimes, including bribery and misuse of his office to benefit a wealthy donor.
We now turn to Florida, where a 14-year-old student was arrested for allegedly stabbing a female teacher with scissors. The incident took place at Boward School in Deerfield Beach this morning. A school official says the student went after the teacher in a classroom, then chased her into a hallway where he stabbed her with a pair of scissors. School staff members detained the teen on campus, and arriving deputies provided medical care to the teacher.
This student has had concerns there before and has committed some act of violence on another teacher, I think about a year and a half ago. So it's, very concerning that I'm not sure what the exact attack was, but now this is a serious violent attack.
The teacher, whose identity was not released, later left the hospital and is now at home recovering. The CDC's independent vaccine advisors are recommending updated COVID vaccines for all Americans 6 months old and older. A committee voted 13-1 in favor of the recommendation Tuesday. 2 updated mRNA vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna will be available in pharmacies within 48 hours of sign-off. The committee's endorsement means the vaccines will be covered by public and private insurance plans. The new vaccines have been updated to fend off the currently circulating viruses that cause COVID.
Rocket star Kevin Porter Jr. pleaded not guilty Tuesday to assaulting his girlfriend after he was arrested in Manhattan on Monday. KTRK reports Porter was released on the $75,000 cash bond. The judge imposed a temporary order of protection. The 23-year-old Porter charged with felony assault and strangulation. Porter's 26-year-old girlfriend, former WNBA player Keisari Gondrzak, told police he struck her repeatedly in the face with a closed fist. Doctors said she suffered a fractured vertebra in her neck. A North Texas woman took her chances shooting video on her cell phone during a recent round of storms. Zoe Smith says Friday night, while standing outside her front door getting video of the dark skies, suddenly she felt an energy run through her body. She's not sure what the lightning hit, just that it was not her, but the force blew out the speakers of the headphones she was wearing. The National Weather Service says the odds of being struck by lightning in a given year is about 1 in a million.
The city of Victoria looking for volunteers for a cleanup in the east part of the Queen City neighborhood. We have more on that on our website, crossroadstoday.com. So for your viewer poll, we ask you, do you plan to sign up for the Queen City neighborhood cleanup? Yes, no, or maybe. According to these results, 12% are saying yes, 88% say no, and 0% say maybe. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And of course, we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button, click that notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6. In Colorado, deputies fired for tasing an elderly man.
Also ahead, students in North Carolina gather to protest after a professor dies during a campus shooting.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking information regarding attempted thefts. On September 11th, 2023, at about 7:33 a.m., officers responded to a business in the 1400 block of East Mockingbird for an attempted theft of an ATM. No damage was done to the ATM and no money was taken. This same day at 8:35 a.m., officers responded to a second location in the 4800 block of North Navarro about an attempted theft of an ATM. This ATM was damaged, but no money was taken. A white Ford F-250 was stolen and used in the attempted thefts. Police recovered this vehicle. The offenders are described as 3 men. If you have any information about these attempted thefts, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by going to crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. With the Victoria Police Department, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
Students from the University of North Carolina are demanding action against gun violence. They organize a protest Tuesday outside of the state legislative building. The rally comes 2 weeks after a deadly on-campus shooting left a professor dead.
Being part of the lockdown generation is not something you want to be a part of. And now and all of us here are part of it. This is not a group. This is not a club you want to be a part of. Enough is enough. No more silence.
A UNC graduate student charged with first-degree murder and having a gun on education property in the August shooting. If convicted, he faces a minimum of life in prison without parole for the murder charge and up to 2 years for the weapons charge.
5 Memphis police officers involved in the deadly beating of Tyree Nichols are now facing federal charges. A federal grand jury indicted the officers Tuesday on civil rights charges. They stem from the January incident when police beat 29-year-old Nichols after he fled a traffic stop on foot. Nichols died shortly after. The 5 officers all pleaded not guilty to state charges in the case. They are also facing a federal civil lawsuit.
2 Colorado law enforcement officers accused of tasing a grandfather 35 times. Those deputies have been fired.
This is the right step. This is definitely the right direction for the department to be going in. Unfortunately, it appears that wasn't ever going to happen. Nothing was ever going to happen to these 2 Sheriff's Department employees without kin filing a lawsuit.
Kenneth Espinoza first filed a lawsuit against the Los Animas County Sheriff's Office and the involved deputies in early May. That was nearly 6 months after his attorney Kevin Mayer says those employees tased Espinoza.
Hold on! Now, I'm getting out. I'm not. You're under arrest.
Mayer says it all started when Espinoza pulled over to wait for his son when deputies had stopped him for tailgating. According to an internal report by the Los Animas County Undersheriff provided to us by Mayor Law, when the initial incident occurred, he, quote, did not review body camera footage and simply went off the reports and verbal comments made by Lieutenant Trujillo and Deputy Noel.
The entire case against Ken was based on untrue information. And they didn't do anything to ensure that he wasn't being prosecuted. They wasn't still in jail 6 months later.
Mayor tells me now Espinoza just wants accountability.
To read through the report, Trujillo believes that he didn't do anything wrong, that there were no policy violations. Noel has a similar outlook.
The report from the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office, also provided to 11 News by Mayor Law, says, quote, it is inherent the Los Animas County Sheriff's Office consider the referral of a criminal investigation into the former deputy's actions.
Google sent to defend itself on a landmark antitrust trial that began Tuesday in Washington, D.C. In its initial complaint, the U.S. government alleged in part that Google pays billions a year to device manufacturers and browser developers to be their default search engine. The government also claims that in many cases, Google also pays to block those companies from dealing with competitors.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We did have some clouds drifting in from the north. There's a little frontal system in North Texas that's going to be the focusing mechanism for some much needed rainfall this week. So let's get excited about that. 93 degrees, as you see right about there. We only made it to 99, so it was pretty comfortable today. We are looking for lower temperatures, a good shot at some rain, and you're not going to believe the temperatures in North Texas. We'll talk about all that coming up in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everyone. The clouds are coming in from the north. All of a sudden, we're back to regular weather. The dome has finally gone away, and now all of a sudden we're back to, real weather like the one we're supposed to have. We have a little frontal system right about here. It's stationary, so it's not really moving in either direction. In fact, it's going to wobble around this area and be the focusing mechanism for some much needed rainfall here most of this week. Yes, we were in the 90s up north. You're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. Look at this. These are the high temperatures that we recorded today. 99 for us, but what was that? 66 in Midland as a high temperature, in the 70s in Lubbock, and in the 70s in San Angelo. So you can actually see where the frontal system is located, and that's the nicer air that's finally rolled through. Think about that. 103, or let's say we were 105 down to 60. So, well, a 40-degree drop in temperature, not bad at all. So these are the forecast highs for tomorrow. So you can see we're still on the warm side because the frontal system sort of stalled right here. But, places like, Alpine will be in the 80s, San Angelo 79, 82 in Mineral Wells, 69 the high temperature in Amarillo. Okay, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Well, okay, it's not going to get that cool around here, but you will see cloud cover and shower activity. And this is Future Tracker. How much rain will we get as we go into the future? And you can see all the way through Sunday. So this would be, a week's total, storm total. And in the green, we get up to a ½ an inch. In the blue here, we probably get up to maybe an inch total. So that is looking good for us. And obviously these purple spots are probably over 2 inches. So we could get some much needed rainfall around the area that we have been longing for, I don't know, it seems like forever. So yeah, we've got rain showers rolling in. Now, what you see right here is the air quality advisories. These are San Antonio and Houston. And of course they have, every day we pollute, but on certain days the wind is not strong enough to really stir it up. And so what happens is it gets stagnant, and Houston and San Antonio have the problem. How come Dallas is not in this? Because they're behind the front and they've got a little bit of a north wind stirring things up, and that's sort of good for them. Now, we of course are looking at the frontal system that will be here for most of this week, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's not strong enough to really, plow through, but there will be some times that you'll feel a north wind blowing, and then a south wind blowing, and then a north wind blowing, and then a south wind blowing. But the front is good, and there, like I said, there's the focusing mechanism for the shower activity. On the East Coast, we'll follow the frontal system all the way up here. It is one of the reasons why Lee, the hurricane, is being kept out at sea. If this wasn't here, things would be very different. And so now the big question is, what is Lee going to do? Lee was a huge, powerful storm. It weakened. It's forecast to strengthen up again. And now we have a pretty good fix on where it's going to go. Now that's Lee. This is Margot right here. And there's another one forming right here. Now this one's going to be interesting because it's going to be a low latitude storm. It may even affect the Lesser Antilles, and if it gets in the Caribbean, we're going to have to watch it. But for the short term, Lee, as you can see right about here, is now a 3. It'll weaken to a 2, and it will hit Nova Scotia as a Category 1. But all of this area will be getting hurricane force winds, and most of the United States will be spared. It's not going to be a beautiful day, but at least it's not a big storm. We're looking for 94 tomorrow in Port Lavaca. For those of you up in Cuero, we start off at 75, get to 96. So the good news, we see no hundreds through the next 7 days. And a couple afternoon showers tomorrow and Thursday. Big stuff, or the biggest stuff, should be Friday and Saturday. Of course, it's football night, so you just check in with us in the afternoon, and we'll let you know everything you need to know about the rain that's happening that day. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's Sports Director Gino Perez.
Thanks, Karina. We have the latest on the short-lived season of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. That and more after the break. At Crossroads, the top-ranked volleyball team in the state is the Goliad Tigerettes, and they open district against the Taft Greyhounds. The Tigerettes have a long-standing record of not losing a district game since 2014. That's nearly a decade of dominance and look to continue that tonight. Goliad is at home and are on a 4-game win streak since falling to Victoria St. Joseph a few weeks ago in a tournament. Goliad is looking to maul the Greyhounds, which are no slouches either, coming into tonight's game with a 23-2 record. This is going to be an exciting matchup, and that one started at 5 o'clock. We will have updates tonight at 10. And speaking of St. Joseph, the Lady Flyers are coming off a decent outing in Houston, returning with a 5-1 record. Tonight, the Lady Flyers play its second district match against the St. Anthony Yellow Jackets, which the two competed against last season, and the Lady Flyers took care of business. This is the second year in realigned district that the Lady Flyers are favored to win the district yet again. St. Joseph head volleyball coach Krista Swanland said her team has a lot of fight, and it showed this past tournament. The team is also good at communicating and being persistent. She also said her team needs to focus more and stay competitive, especially when a team is not up to the caliber of St. Joseph. First serve for the two teams started after the JV game. We will have an update for tonight's game as well. The New York Jets hosted the Buffalo Bills last night, and although the Jets won the battle, they may have ultimately lost the war. Former Green Bay Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers entered MetLife Stadium to the roar of a thunderous crowd, but soon those cheers were turned to gasps just 4 plays into the game. On a first down, Rodgers was brought down by a Bills defender, and everything looked like it was going to be a normal tackle. Rodgers did get up and seemed to hobble around a little bit, but then proceeded to take a seat. He was later helped off the field and seen carted off the field with a boot and an MRI today. It was confirmed that the worst is true. The first-year Jets quarterback tore his Achilles, meaning his season is over. The 39-year-old will now have to watch from the sideline and wonder if this is his last play of his Hall of Fame career. Dallas and the Jets play this week, and it should be interesting since the Jets do not know who their quarterback will be. Another Texas team, the Longhorns, are coming off a huge victory over the powerhouse Alabama Crimson Tide, and the Longhorns and Crimson Tide both battled back and forth through the game, and Texas would be the one that prevailed in Tuscaloosa. This was the first time a non-conference opponent on the road beat Alabama in 16 years. The Horns also broke the Alabama's home game win streak, which was at 21 games. This was also the first time that the Longhorns beat Alabama since 1982, when Texas won 14-12. Now the Horns will prepare for Wyoming and come in as the number 4 ranked team in the nation, with thoughts of once again making the national title game and even its first ever college playoffs. Well, that's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
One game at a time, Gino. Yeah. One game at a time. It's early September.
Alrighty. All right, well, thank you, boys. We're going to be back in a moment. McDonald's says it's phasing out a main part of its dining room service. We have the details straight ahead.
phasing out what has become a signature part of the fast food experience, self-serve soda stations. Say that 3 times fast. In dining rooms across the country by the year 2032. Now this means you no longer will be handed an empty cup by an employee to fill it up at the soda fountain on your own. The Chicago-based fast food chain says the change is intended to create a consistent experience for both McDonald's workers and their customers at all ordering points. So not just in the dining room, but also the drive-through, the app, all that kind of stuff.
Well, that means you can't get a refill.
Yes, that is correct. And if you had the app, you couldn't get a refill. If you're driving through, you couldn't get a refill.
So they told you all that. Bottom line is you can't get a refill.
Bottom line is you can't. And for those who have been ordering water cups and getting Sprite instead, you've been busted. You've been busted.
Oh. Well, thank you for being clear on that.
I thought they were going to get rid of the people and have robots serving the food, you know.
That's coming.
That's next.
That's coming soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, we've got some better weather for us, folks. Yes, we do have temperatures only in the mid-90s, and we do have a good shot at getting some rain around here. Now, it's going to come in Thursday night into Friday, and of course, Friday's football, so check in with us to see how things are going for that night.
Thank you, Mac. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tonight at 10.